here's a good example. I was hoping maybe Wayne Motch, Wayne Motch comes sometimes. Wayne Motch did the third day's battle map. There was something else I saw Tom doing when he was working on the map and I remember when he was doing it, it bothered me a little bit. When he was working on his map, and believe me, his computer program for the time was awesome. He was working on the base map, and I would say, under those troops there's a problem with that fence. And so he would pick up the artillery pieces and move them. And then he'd fix stuff, and then he'd move them back. And clearly, he moved Eshelman and Squires battery on the third day map, and he moved them over to the open field near the Trossel farm. That's the Trossel farm, and this is before Pickett's charge. And Squires has a section of Eshelman's battalion out near the Trossel farm. They're east of the Plum Run. And so he moved that over there. He's probably fixing stuff and forgot about it. And I wanted Wayne to tell the story. And he had the same issue I had. You're trying to correct as much stuff as you can. Somehow, all the maps got printed with this mistake. And I'll bet you there are maps other people have done now that show Confederate artillery east of Plum Run during the bombardment preceding Pickett's charge because of this mistake. Yeah, poor Eshelman. Eshelman's from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, moved to New Orleans before the war. He's a cousin of mine through marriage.
Tim, who's got the base map now? Is that the Friends have it?
I doubt if there's a base map.
I mean,
the computer program, I doubt if it exists.
Really?
And you know how computers are? There were like 10 different pieces of software he had all integrated for this thing. I guarantee you, if even somebody has it, you can't open it up. Have you ever tried to play one of your old video games on the new computer?
Yeah.
So, for instance, here is the edge of the town. Now, I admit, when I started this project, how close am I going to get to the town of Gettysburg in this project? I wanted to go up to the borough limits because I envisioned at some time there would be another map of the town that would show you who lived there. But when you get too close to the town, there's a whole bunch of buildings. And so what I did, you need to pass through?
Sorry.
No. When I did the base, and then I gave them the list with the numbers on it, since there's so many buildings, it was kind of hard to place them. And then some of them are complicated. Like the Jenny Wade house, it's owned by John Howe, but the tenants that live there are Lewis McClellan on the north side and Isaac McLean on the south side. So I have 3 different things to put there in that small space. And then you can see he'd gotten the Myers house and the Studi house backwards. I wanted to add Solomon Welty. I don't know why I wanted that added. Samuel McCreary, the tannery. And then Evergreen Cemetery was an open field on his map. Evergreen Cemetery was established and had roads in it, so I got him to take Evergreen Cemetery off of a later map and incorporate that into the battle map. And then you might notice, Eric, that at the very bottom, he had, I'm sure from his vast knowledge of the battle, James Peffer living in the farm down there. And do you see I changed it? Aren't you proud of me? Like years before I knew about your relative. So the widow Peffer. And then I think on the final map, it's actually Mary. Her husband had died in, was it May or June? May of 1863. So she's a new widow. But I just wanted to share with you some of the things that we did on the map. Oh, good. We even put the brickyard and the tannery on there. But not John Weinbrenner.
Yeah, top one.
Yeah, he's up there.
The top one.
Oh, Weinbrenner. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, good.
Roll there.
Yeah, good. So we got all those. Now there's some things I was able to convince Tom to do. And again, I was much better friends with him than the other people that met us. So he listened to me a little bit, and I got things taken off the map I thought were ridiculous. Like Party Field was on the map. You know, when did we start calling that area Party Field? When the monument to Areopagi went into the middle of the field? When I was a kid, I thought it was Party Field. I'm sure it was to many locals. And then, probably my major contribution to the historiography of the battle is I'm getting people to stop saying Zebediah or Zebulun, Tawny, or, Old Zeb. No, his name is Zephaniah. And so I really wanted to put that on my map. His actual name is Charles Zephaniah Tawny. But, and then, I was going to, again, if Wayne was here, I'd have pointed out that on the map, they had Abraham Tawny owning, or Abraham Spangler owning the Spangler farm out near the field of Pickett's Charge. And it's clearly owned by his son Henry, and it was actually just purchased by Henry in 1862. His wife was Hester Plank, and it was her father, Conrad Plank, that had died in the 1850s, and it was her father's farm. So it was the Plank farm, and in 62 it was bought by Henry Spangler. And additionally, when, I don't think I have it in here, but when the final product got done, I put the tenant that lived there also, Nicholas Eckenrode. But I could not convince them to add apostrophe S's to the features on the map. And I'm sure he's laughing because my biggest pet peeve in the world is Willoughby's Run versus Willoughby Run. And that's very important, don't you think? Maybe not. So they didn't add apostrophe S's. Okay, so to talk about just some of the farms as we go along here, and I'll touch on the map and the farms on the battlefield, but I'm not going to talk about all of them. So here is the Edward McPherson farm. And the McPherson farm is kind of interesting because the house no longer stands. And the McPherson farm is a tenant farm. And that means that the McPhersons owned it but did not live there. As a matter of fact, Edward McPherson lived in the town of Gettysburg, but he lived in Washington, D.C. at the time of the battle, and there was a tenant living there. His father owned the farm before him, and when his father owned it, a tenant lived there. It was a tenant farm. Many of the farms on the battlefield are not lived in by the person who owns them. So we'll talk about that in a moment, but it's time for our raffle.
As soon as I go over, you win.
Should I hold this? Well, we got a lot of stuff, don't we? Well, let's give my cheap prize away first. My cheap prize. Okay. I'm sure you realize, because the Farnsworth House is going to get busy here soon, and on Sunday nights they'll have actual tourists instead of just locals and people, tour guides and stuff, that this will be our last program for this year. So Libby decided to make it a really nice raffle, although I'm sure you enjoyed our raffles before. So we have a few raffle prizes to give away. So we have Beyond the Gatehouse, and it's about the Evergreen Cemetery, and it highlights many of the people that lived in the farms around the battlefield. So let's see. So it is last three numbers, 445. Is that?
John.
Oh, John. You sound like a voice from back there. Okay. We have a $10 gift certificate that you may use right now if you want to buy a few more beers. Okay. 451. Oh.
That's like 4
It's the Hoffman's, Jerry. I'll pull it
No,
out.
we didn't win last time. We need to get bars back the time before.
Yeah, well, you don't, if you don't have that, it's all right.
No, we're not giving it.
What is it? It's a $15 gift certificate. 460. He said he could buy dessert. Dessert would cost more than I don't want it. Okay, another $15 gift certificate. Dig deep. I don't know who's got the tickets anyway. 462. Okay. Okay, what is this?
This is a Michael Gannett Jr.
Oh, it's an Abraham Lincoln print. Excellent. Okay, you may pass. 465. Good.
Somebody won it. The certificate's in the back.
Good. And this is a framed print. That's right. This is a November 19th Abraham Lincoln print as he's passing the Farnsworth house, and in the framed print there's a piece of wood from the sycamore tree across the street that died and got cut down, and also a piece of the Farnsworth house in the frame. And should I mention that I was the historical consultant on this, if there's such a thing.